All right, Bosco in one, joined by Bobby Regan of Barstool Sports, Barstool Reags. The only guy I know to somehow have a news story break about Rick Pitino, and you go to type the blog, and it's 1 minute after the fact. Reags already has 2 paragraphs and beats you to the punch. So, always like talking college basketball with him. It is the Preakness. There is the PGA. You might be the first guy we touch on a bunch of different things here. So a lot to unpack.
It's a sneaky great sports weekend.
I think the early summer works out really well, especially around graduation parties and the NBA finals. I think you can kind of always have something on the TVs, so you're not really jammed up. I think that's
this weekend's great though, because you got the NBA, the NHL playoffs, obviously. You got the fallout from the lottery of the NBA draft. So you have just shit going on with that, obviously. Preakness, PGA. It's the perfect weekend before Memorial Day to just be like, all right, this is a little husband secret. You go, you know what? I'll stay in this weekend. You go do what you want. I'll take care of the kids. I'll do this around the house, whatever. Because you have you have whatever you want on TV. I know you're not a soccer guy, but there's soccer going on too. So literally from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, you can be gambling on something. You can be watching something. You can have, the guys come over. That's the dad trick, right? You go out. I'm going to invite a couple buddies over, bring the kids, put them in the playroom. The dads have beers and watch the games. It's the easiest
like
trick in the book, but it's a great weekend for it, because then next weekend you go, hey, it's Memorial Day weekend. We got to go to this party. We got to go out here. I got to go golfing.
Yeah, and it's good that Memorial Day weekend there's not much you want to watch. I always kind of find myself watching the lacrosse. It's weird that they moved the PGA up now from August. I did kind of like it in August, but I guess I forgot about that.
It's because it's a drag. Summer's a drag
As well. Yeah, it makes sense. They just didn't want to be the last one anymore in case guys fall out or
It whatever. Is nice too to get all 4 done before like preseason football. Because let's be honest, football, like the NFL dominates.
Yeah. Everything. Dominating the stories as it is now. The schedule's out, forget it. So a lot to stuff. I want to kind of touch base about some college basketball stuff as well. It's been a while since the tournament. Let everything kind of go. But it is the Preakness. I talked to you a little bit on Pick Central about the Derby. I think this one kind of loses its luster a little bit in terms of the Derby. Like, I'm always looking forward to the Derby, and then a week goes by with nothing, and you come back like, oh yeah, that's on. There's been times where I miss the Preakness, but I'll never miss the Derby. So, but I'll still, you always try to make the 2 minutes to try and watch it. People are betting on it. So, and there's 8 horses, so it doesn't.
This year sucks because it's the first time in 75 years. Mage is the only one that ran in the Derby that's running.
All right, so there you go. So that's the question to ask right away. He's the only one from the Derby. Does that hurt him or help him?
There's 2 ways to look at it, right? Because you come off the Derby win. He ran against some of, arguably the best of the best, right? Or Breeders' Cup, whatever. One of the best races you can run in. He won on a pretty damn good
run. Yeah.
Wasn't like it was a weird win. He had a damn good run. But now you get these horses coming off the layoff, and Bosco, I know you like your stats. 4 of the last 6 winners skipped the Derby.
Okay.
So something to keep an eye on. That's where you could say it hurts, because it is a quick turnaround, right? Like,
yeah,
it's not the old horse racing days where they ran every 2-3 weeks. Like, yeah, you get that, but it's not the same anymore, right? They're getting longer layoffs.
Well, it's like anything. The money becomes too much. Like a pitcher, they used to have a 4-man rotation. They go to a 5. You got to protect these guys. So that's how it goes. The stat I did have was if Mage wins, he'll be the 8th in the last 12 to win the Preakness after the Derby.
You're saying winning both Derby and Preakness?
Yeah, he would be the 8th of those.
So then it's probably all before, because mine's 4 of 6. So yeah, that would make sense, because it's all probably before the 6-year span, and then the 2 in the 6-year span. But like I like horse racing. I enjoy horse racing. I watch more than the major races. Like, I'll throw it on when Gulfstream's running or whatever. Preakness just sucks this year, and I'm sure it'll be a great race. Like, I'm not taking anything away from Mage. It's a good horse, but like you said, it's an 8-horse race. There is some intrigue, but like you want to watch a rematch. Like you wanted to see a couple of the Derby horses. You wanted to see maybe, and I know Forte couldn't get there, but you wanted Forte to finally be able to run. So it does lose its luster because, like the Derby's a Derby. It's still a Triple Crown race. It's like, everyone, it's almost like the NCAA tournament, right? Everyone gets pumped for the first round. And then like the second round, you sit there and go, oh, wait, now we're back to one game on at a time where it doesn't lose its luster. But like the casual fan sits there and goes like, well, what am I supposed to, I'm used to going 4 TVs here all of a sudden.
Well, more so Sunday. I talked about that the other night. The NHL, everyone's dragging the NHL through the mud. The fact that they bought, like the casual fan, to me, Saturday you could go out drinking and you're up all night anyway, or you're probably out to dinner and the game's on in the distance, like whatever. Sunday, there is no chance the casual fan is watching anything past 6 o'clock when they stack the games, which is so dumb that they put the first two.
See, I like it because I hate the Elite Eight when it just ends at like 7:30, and I'm just sitting there going like, well, now what?
Yeah, but I don't know. You can't have all of them that late on a Sunday night in the first.
I would move one more up.
Let's be honest. It's me and you. If the game was starting at 3 a.m., we'd still watch. I'm just saying to elevate
the ideal situation.
Fan. Yeah, it is.
I'd move one more up and go 3 and 5.
Right. All right. So we touched on there's 8 horses. National Treasure, Chase the Chaos, Mage, Coffee with Chris, Red Root, One, Perform, Blazing Stevens, First Mission. As a guy who loves the exacta and the trifecta massive payouts, how many is too many to put in your tries and exactas in terms of boxes?
My original bill.
Oh, just don't tell me horse, just straight number. Like if you had 6 horses in your trifecta, that's pretty stupid, right? Like that's where it gets difficult to me here.
But it depends how you build it too. Because like I like to build, here's who I think can win. So like my tri build has 2 horses up top, right? So I'm building around 2 main horses that I have, obviously first, second, third. One of those 2 got to win for me to cash. But that's how I do it to limit my exposure. It's easier on an 8-horse field. Derby's trying to build, and I'm the same way. I love playing horizontally. I love playing pick 4s. Love playing exactas. Love playing exactas more than tries. The Derby becomes a shit show because it's like, all right, I can see 12 horses winning here. How the hell am I going to build this?
Right.
8-horse field makes it a little easier. And I've had some good run at the Preakness. 2 years ago, shout out my guy Rumbauer. That was a 12-1, just about a little over 11-1. That helped. So, I think there's, I would say on an 8-horse field, you really want to look around building around 2. You don't want more exposure than that. Maybe 3. But I mean, we're looking at, and it's obviously different than sports odds. We're looking at morning line, like early odds. That all changes when the money starts going in, when you see payouts. Depending who you build around, I could make a case for 3, but I'm trying to stick to 2 here.
Before we get into the exact horses, any weather or X factors expected in Maryland this weekend?
I think it's supposed to be nice out. I looked earlier this morning. I mean, you want to talk about a shit show.
Yeah, I've heard. So I went down for a bachelor party and couldn't get off of work the day of the race. So I went down Thursday night and Friday night to Camden Yards, which is beautiful. And then Saturday morning, I was working Saturday night, so I had to race out of there. And I've seen the videos, the running of the toilets, the beer packages themselves. Like it just seems.
I went the last year you could bring in your own alcohol.
Oh, Jesus.
I left bruised because people just launch. This isn't a Bosco shot. This isn't a pot shot.
I know,
people just launch in the air. And it's like, you just all of a sudden, like, you're walking, right? You're walking to go take a piss, and next thing you know, back of your neck, you get smacked.
It's tough. It seems like a little bit too much debauchery.
It's one where I was talking to the White Sox Dave about it. He's a horse guy too. And we want to bring Francis to the Preakness, but have to do the infield. You can't do the nice seats. You got to be with the mud.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a scene. Sorry, so it seems like it's pretty clear. All right, I'll run through these real quick. Kind of give me an elevator pitch or one thing to know. I did it with Elio, basically throw out, deep, or like contender, and then you can kind of tell us how you built the card. National Treasure 4-1. It's Baffert. Baffert's back. It's a Baffert trained horse.
Baffert's only banned from Derby or from Churchill.
Right, yeah. So Baffert's in play here. What do you got on this one?
I love this horse.
Okay.
This is one of the two I'm building now.
Chase the Chaos 50-1.
That's a throwaway.
Okay. Mage 8-5.
I'm trying to
winner.
Obvious favorite. I'm trying to beat him. I'm trying to beat him because we'll get into it later, but I'm trying to beat him.
Yeah, I would imagine throwing out the favorite in terms of payouts probably helps. Coffee with Chris 20-1.
Throwaway.
Okay.
It's gonna be an important horse in the race, but it's a throwaway.
Red Route 1, 10-1.
Potential second place finisher.
Perform 15-1.
That's the long shot you take.
Okay. Blazing Stevens 6-1. Chad Brown.
That's the second one I'm building on.
All right. And First Mission 5-2.
If it win, it wouldn't surprise me again. Trying to beat it like Mage.
Trying to get out of it. Yeah. See, that's where it's difficult. Like the payout. I mean, 4-1, 8-5, 10-1, 6-1, 5-2. Like nothing really crazy here to build around. And even the try in the Derby didn't pay that much. With two fills kind of coming up. So it's weird. I'm gonna go the NBA playoffs here, game sevens. We're always kind of rooting for those. I'll go Blazing Sevens. Although a better name, if you ask me, a better name would be Blazing Stevens for Brad.
But from the 7 spot.
Yeah, exactly. And the 7. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. The signs. I'll take the 7. All right. Which way are you building this ticket and how much will it cost?
All right. So I'm probably going to bet National Treasure to win the 1.
Okay.
I do like the 7, Blazing Sevens. Here's my fear with the 7. It ran 3rd at Keeneland in the Bluegrass Stakes, which is a race I pay attention to because they go to Derby, right? So that's a good, like, how they feel there, how they run at Derby. Well, the 2 from Derby, Verifying and Tapit Trice, beat them at Bluegrass Stakes. They didn't run great at Derby, right? Like, they were fine. I think Tapit Trice ended up going off as the favorite in 5th? So that's my fear with that. That's my biggest concern. I'm building my exacta, which is $8 bet for every $1 exacta.
Okay.
1 and 7 over 1, 3, 6, 7. So I had to make the choice of throwing away either Mage or First Mission, right? Now, if it comes in, if it comes in with obviously Perform, you're gonna make a good amount of money because you're looking at a 4-1 or a 6-1 over a 15-1. And we say this on a Wednesday night, odds can obviously change.
Right.
But that's where I'm looking at. The try, which is you can bet it 2 different ways. $30 for $1 or $24 for $1. 1 and 7 again up top, 1, 3, 6, 7 again second. You can hit the all button for 3rd.
Right.
That's $30. Yeah. It's $30. You could take out obviously Chase the Chaos, and that makes it $24.
Okay.
So, all right, and here's why I like Perform. I thought about maybe and here's why I said like you could build around 3. Perform. You got Shug, the trainer. He's a monster trainer. It ran the Tessio, won the Tessio, had terrible run. It came around at like 9th and still ended up winning. This race is not going to have a ton of speed. So that's why I don't really like Mage to win. It's why I'm a little nervous with First Mission. And why Red Route 1 I don't like to win. I think that's going to be a popular choice to win with Rosario out there. But that's just a stone cold closer. That's one that I could say why I say like bet it to win, put it second in exactas and stuff.
Okay.
There's just and I mentioned earlier why I think Coffee with Chris, the 4, is an important horse, but I'm throwing it away. It'll probably be the early leader. It wants to run out early with a ton of speed, and it's going to die. So I don't know. That's the way I build it. I don't love this race just because, like you said, I don't know how it's going to pay.
Yeah, I just don't get it as an invested. I'll probably pick a guy to win, but with the Derby, I have 7 million combos with my friends.
Right.
Try, so it is what it is. But
because you can find better odds, right? Like you're not going to get 8 horses where, one's 50 to 1. No one else is above, 15, 20? But I will say the Preakness does pay. Like long odds come in at the Preakness.
Right.
It's not shocking to see double digits win this thing.
Makes sense.
So that's where I think performs real live. I'm sure it'll get bet down, but at 15 to 1, real live.
Yeah. All right. Picks for the PGA while we're doing that as well. And then we'll get into some college basketball. I got some voicemails kind of on the back end. We'll touch big topics. I'll give you here. I always kind of break it up and break down a unit into way smaller ones and just go grab.
Because you have to in golf.
With the PGA guys. Cantley and Koepka would be the probably high plays. 16 to 20. Okay. Long shots and real deep ones. Young, 30 to 1. Morikawa,
that's my pick.
I'm always going to have him, 33. The Gala at 90, Woodland at 80, and Moore at 125.
Okay.
That's what I would be at. That's where all my sprinkles are. You said you like Cameron Young.
You can see my scribble here. Cam Young across the board was my first thing I wrote down. 30 to 1, plus 335 top 10, plus 138 top 20.
Got it. What do we like? Why do we like him going?
I was gonna say, for those who wonder why. So Oak Hill, right? This is in Rochester. It's gonna be cold on Thursday there. I was looking at the weather. They played there in 2013. You can't really take too much from that because the course got completely redone. It's long. Everything that I was reading about it and the way it's supposed to play, focus on guys off the tee, right? Accurate off the tee. Because that rough, we saw Danny Rappaport, our guy, drop a ball. That rough is nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Nasty. Cam Young is 3rd in driving distance and 18th in strokes gained off the tee. You can find it, and I think I found that on the PGA website. There's another website, Data Golf, that I go to that shows it's almost like Ken Palm for golf. Break stuff down off of there. So that's why I like Cam Young. I kind of hate that everyone's playing him with the narrative because he's from New York, even though it's 5 hours away from where he's from.
Right.
He's the son of a PGA professional. So, yeah, the narrative's there. He's just a fucking good golfer. That's also why I like him. I'm with you on Woodland. I'm going to take him plus 175, top 30. He's 8th in driving distance and 10th in strokes gained off the tee. My long shots, I'm going to butcher this name. Thorbjørn Olsen.
Okay.
Olsen. He's plus 450 for top 30 finish. He finishes top 20 in the DP Tour all the time. So I like him there. He played back in 2013 too. Kurt Kitayama, he won at Bay Hill. He's 21st in the world. Plus 250 for top 40 finish. I like that. Morikawa, he's been top 10, I think, in 4 of the last 7 majors, I think I read. Plus 335 top 10.
But the knock, and from a guy I love, he goes 6 under to start and then goes 4 over. But somehow still finishes top 10.
He's my kryptonite.
He's just got to get rid of the bad rounds because when he's on, he's as good as anybody.
Kryptonite. So it's in terms of unit plays, I might go the lowest on him because he's my kryptonite. Right. Because when I fade him, he's winning or finishing top 10. Yeah. When I bet him is when he does the 2-3 under first round. You think he's sitting good, and then he shoots 5 over on the second round.
It's infuriating.
Shane Lowry is another guy I like. He's plus 300 for top 20. Yeah, top 20. So those are the guys I'm targeting. If you're looking for a shorter price, I do like Xander. I'm a Xander guy. He's going to win one at one point, so it's almost like, do I ever want to miss out on him?
Right.
14 to 1 seems, it's good odds, right? But it seems a little low. I think he's 4th favorite on our book right now.
Unless they're throwing darts, the thing I worry about is Scotty and Rahm just being head and shoulders above everybody. So unless we
I'm just in full on fade them.
A full day, right? So the good thing is you have 6 or 7 guys making a run Sunday, and you have an unbelievable final. You watch on Sunday, you have 6 or 7 guys kind of in the mix. The worst of all is when somebody kind of runs away with it. The other option that's okay to me is if you just have 2 guys throwing darts going back and forth in the final pairing. And if it's Rahm and Scotty, which it is what it is, I wouldn't hate that as well because they're just
no. I mean that's the best thing for golf, right? Like Rahm and Scotty dueling it out.
Yeah.
I just don't want to take them when you're telling me they're what plus 700, plus 750 right now. Exactly. When I can take like Finau. Like Finau was the guy that I thought about taking. He's 20-1. And it's like, all right, can I take Finau 21, who, he's not as good as Rahm and Scotty, but how much of a drop-off are we talking about?
Right.
And it's like, I don't know. I just don't want to bet. I know it's not the Masters, whatever. I don't like betting the favorite in golf. It's
no fun.
It's too much mayhem. And it's like when you look at the odds, again, like if I told you could hit a 7-1 in football or basketball, you take an heartbeat. But in golf, over 4 days at a major, I don't know. And then some fun props that I had. Cam Young, 16-1, top American. Shane Lowry, 11-1, top British-Irish player. Adam Scott, plus 335 to win Group F on the Barstool Sportsbook, which is Scott over Reed, Fleetwood, Joaquin Niemann, and Taylor Gooch.
Okay.
So I love prop bets in golf. I will play I love that golf has like the top 5, the top 10s, the top 20s, the top 40s. I was looking at even making Miss the Cut, but I couldn't find. I wanted to bet Phil to miss the cut. We didn't have it on the book when I looked at it. I bet against Bryson at the Masters, and that was just the easiest miscut of all time.
No, there's definitely some meat on the bone. I mean, I think I call it day trading too. Guy starts out 4 holes down, drops a little bit. There's a lot to do.
It's a good call because it is like you can get a sense of a tournament feel after day 1, but then you got to consider like weather. When are they going off the next time? Right? Like morning group to afternoon group. What's the difference there? And you can make money live betting golf.
100%.
Arguably more than I think. Like the only other sport I would say I prefer live betting more is college basketball. Just because I get a feel of a game quicker.
Right. And plus things change in golf so crazy. So all right, yeah, and we'll be locked into the futures as it goes. I kind of wanted to get you on just to touch a little bit on college basketball in general. I think there's voicemails on kind of all these topics, but as we say this today, Caleb Love is going to decommit from Michigan. So he transfer to Michigan, kind of where he's going to go. It seems like the transfer portal is good, but it's also
I love it.
Real hard to keep track of. So let's play.
Hold on, I have a take real quick. I want to see if you agree or disagree. So I don't think we ever brought it up this way when me and you have talked. I know people bitch about the free agency and the way it used to be, where you knew guys for 4 years at a program, even though that's somewhat false. I love that we talk that there are news stories about college basketball players, albeit free agency, while we are in May, in the middle of everything sports-wise we're talking about. I think I don't want to say it's, quote, good for the sport, but it's good exposure for the sport.
It definitely, the dead period used to be from April 5th to October.
To deciding day, right? Until the NBA draft deciding day. And then that was it until.
But even that didn't have a lot of drama. You know what I mean? Because it's like, all right, well, this kid's coming back. Like,
I kind of remember like Duncan after his junior year. It's like, okay, he's going to go and be the 1 pick, or is he coming back and being the 1 pick?
Right. Minimal. So now you're right. It does have a little bit of drama and some NBA to it. But it is hard to keep track, and it's
almost impossible to keep track.
I saw there's a story. The FAU guys, shout out Dusty May and my guy Kyle Church in the Power Phone. They're trying to steal their whole roster. They're getting $1 million offers. Like, it's just kind of the poaching. If you're in the middle of the road or in a mid-major, you're going somewhere else. It is very difficult to keep track of. But let's fire up the voicemails, because rather than, there's a million different topics and things we could have done. So as the voicemails go, we'll kind of unpack some of these storylines. and then kind of get you out of here.
Yeah, here's the Caleb Love
All right,
voicemail.
perfect.
What's going on, Rico? My name is RJ. I'm calling in from New Jersey. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on Caleb Love transferring from North Carolina to Michigan. Obviously, this kind of happened a while ago, but just wanted to hear your thoughts. You think he's going to be better off? You think Carolina's going to be better off? I personally think they're both better off. I think both needed a change, especially with all the rumors going around the locker room. Clearly, there were some chemistry issues going around with the team that year or last year. So just want to hear your thoughts on that. Do you think he's going to be better off with Michigan now that Hunter Dickinson is gone? I think so. Would love to hear what you think. Thank you. Love the content. Let's ride.
So let's leave this one in because it goes to show what you were talking about in terms of a story now is already stale.
Yeah.
Caleb Love has decommitted from Michigan.
But it was also because of academic stuff too, like the credits. Norlander was tweeting about it and kind of the details of it. So it wasn't like he showed up on campus and was like, "Whoa, it's not for me. See you guys later." And I think it was also said, I forget who had the tweet that said, "Going back to Carolina is not on the table."
Okay,
so that's still relevant.
That's wild that he can walk back in there and
no, they said it's not on the table.
Not on the table.
Not on the table, which is smart
going
for
back
both
to Carolina.
parties.
Got it. Yeah, I've kind of said it from the get-go. I don't know if Juwan Howard is the guy at Michigan. I think they've been okay. I think he's going to get a longer leash than most guys. I don't know. So I don't really know if Caleb Love wanted to be there, especially when Dickinson left. They weren't necessarily a national title contender. You kind of watched it blow up in their face last year. I don't know where he's going to end up going. Obviously, now he's a big name on the board. But my take out of this whole situation is I don't think Juwan Howard is the guy. I don't think he's a long-term fit to be an excellent coach, put it that way.
It's so hard to tell because he has made, 2 Sweet 16s? Right off the bat. The COVID year, they got off to that hot start where they jumped up to 4 in the AP. The year COVID canceled the tournament. He's recruiting. He's recruiting, and I don't know. Part of it is, I do think Juwan makes some dumb decisions from a coaching standpoint. But also, I didn't think Hunter Dickinson's that good. And when you're building a team around Hunter Dickinson, you have a ceiling. And that's not even just a Hunter thing. That's a big man thing. You don't build around a big man.
Yeah. And it's tough to say that when Sonogo just ate everyone's face.
It wasn't built around Sonogo, though. Right.
They were built around the guards. That makes sense. So I agree with you. I think you need a European style big man. We talked about, listen, I loved Luka Garza. I thought Iowa was better with a flow of an offense without him, because it takes a little while for him to get down the court. And let's face it, he can't play a full 40. He's got to take spots, so
the ideal big man, and this is what I said about Kentucky when I said I didn't want Hunter Dickinson. A Willie Cauley-Stein.
Right.
Where it's he couldn't shoot, but just a dude who was versatile in defense and could rim run. You either need the stretch big or you need a guy like that. And again, I know Hunter's stats and he's a good player. I don't want to sit here and be oh, Hunter sucked. But I thought there was a ceiling when you didn't have great guard play. Jet was a stud, but young. Buffkin, I know he's going to be fine in the NBA. He's going to be a first-round pick. But there was no flow to that team. And I don't know if that's a Howard thing, or is that when you build when your star player is a big man. I'm more anti-big man than anything else. I guess that's it. But I weirdly think Caleb Love would have been better at Michigan without Hunter Dickinson, just because of the way Caleb Love plays. He's one of the streakiest players in the country. He's a bit of a chucker. We saw what happens when he gets hot. UNC goes to the Elite Eight, or Final Four, beats Duke. We also saw what happened when he's been in the regular season, and that's miss a tournament and be an 8 seed.
Right.
So I don't know where he goes. He's a Power 5 player. He's a major conference player. I don't know. I could see a team like Missouri taking a flyer on him, and I'm not speculating Missouri specifically, a team like that, like a middle of the road to decent power conference team that should make the tournament, but they want like one more piece, or they need a guard and they missed out on the first go round with the transfer portal, and all of a sudden Caleb Love comes available. Well, okay, Texas is, the players that we always link to, right? Texas, Arkansas,
Right.
they're taken, and maybe Arkansas takes a flyer on them.
Somehow Arkansas always has a roster spot, so they'll figure it out.
We'll see what happens. I'm sure they get Ron Holland and him somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Hit the next one.
What's up, Bosco? Yeah, I just wanted to know what you think about Seth Towns, who's going to be entering his 8th season. Just got in the portal, and he's going to be 26 at the start of the upcoming college basketball season. So I just want to know what you think about it seems to be a recent influx of guys who are 24, 25, 26 playing college basketball, and I want to know if you think it makes the game better or if it makes the game worse having all these older players in the league. Appreciate it.
I actually like this one, Reags, weirdly. If you're going to go to college for your 8th year, I just kind of loved it. Imagine, again, like he's got every sweatsuit, he's got every pair of sneakers that they ever done. This kid's player's trunk is going to be worth millions just in the sheer volume of what he can. And the tough part is when he was at Harvard, he was a double-digit scorer, so like he could play.
He was damn good.
Injuries back-to-back, COVID. Yeah. It's a worst-case type scenario. I don't know what he better have a doctorate. Like, I know it's a free education, but he better have a master's. He better have a doctorate. Like, is that legal? Or is he just taking ballroom dancing? But either way, I kind of love the fact you're going to school for like 8 years.
I'm pretty sure he already had graduated from Harvard. So it's like he already has that on his.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Along with everything else. Just do whatever you want. I don't know. Like, the only reason there's an influx is because of the COVID-free year. This is going to go away in, 2 years? Next year, basically.
Yeah, I don't think it's an influx. I think it's a funny story. Guy go to school for 8 years.
Well, no. But even like Memphis had that kid this year that's was 26 years older, DeAndre Williams. But it's like, I don't know. It's gonna go away. I kind of don't. I mean, I like it because I don't care, but I do kind of like college basketball just being. Let's be honest. We say it all the time. It's a dumb sport, right?
Oh, yeah.
Kids shit their pants trying to inbound the ball for no reason whatsoever. They do dumb things because college kids are dumb. We were dumb when we were in college. Everyone's dumb when they're in college. These just happen to be the elite of the elite basketball players. So part of me misses nothing but 18 to 22-year-olds doing dumb shit and not – and I'm not knocking because, again, I don't care. I know the whole COVID-free year. I know the reasons why. I do. It's funny. Yeah, just live like Van Wilder. You already have Harvard. You already have Ohio State. Go to like Hawaii or Arizona State, somewhere fun, and just fucking party.
Just ball out. Give me a voicemail or a text question, Blake.
Yeah, so the ACC, this guy wrote in, with the potential collapse of the ACC and the football super conferences, how will it affect basketball-only conferences, especially financially, being able to compete? What happens to the Big East, and does UConn stay as the only school with a D1 football team?
Oh, all right. So this one was the one I was kind of interesting at. And the financials, I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm doing. But for those not in the loop, the ACC is saying that Florida State, Miami, NC State, Virginia Tech, Clemson, UNC, and Virginia are all prepared to leave.
Louisville's now rumored to be the 8th.
Okay, so then it changes as it goes. But let's play with just those 7.
Yeah.
That would leave in the ACC Duke, Georgia Tech, Pitt, Notre Dame, Syracuse, Wake Forest, BC, and Louisville. 8 schools. It's not necessarily the best football conference. But I think you add option A to me is that the ACC unpacks that hit of losing half of its conference and losing some of its biggest basketball rivalries and goes, all right, we're going to add 2. Who would you add to make it a 10-team conference just for a couple of years to suffice getting through and manage the blow? Who would be the
Memphis? I think would be a clear-cut number one.
Okay.
You got the FedEx money. You got the enough of a history with basketball and football. Put them up there. I was shocked they didn't go to the Big 12, honestly. Man, the 10th. I'm trying to think who's even available. I don't think you go Temple.
No.
Is there one of those Florida schools that are available? I don't know. I'd rather have Temple than South Florida, I think.
What's FAU doing? Is FAU Big 12? Are they rumored Big 12?
No, they're in the American now.
So I'd go FAU, maybe.
I would. I mean,
I don't know. So that's the option for add two. This one is the more fun one, right? Does the Big East sit there and go, hey, we got a little bit, you got a little bit. What about making a super conference?
they need to. I blogged that.
But it's too many. So you'd be
It's
looking
18. It'd be what, 18 total?
Yeah.
Assuming Louisvile goes, it'd be 18
All right, so
total.
you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 from the Big East if Louisville stays.
If Louisville
And
stays,
you'd have
okay.
10.
No, there's 11 in the Big
11.
East now. It'd be
You have 11 in the
19.
Big East. That's 19. I think you got to get rid of 1 or 3. But
See you,
either way,
Louisville.
how much fun is this conference? Duke, Pitt, Syracuse, Wake Forest, BC, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, Louisville, Marquette, Xavier, Creighton, Seton Hall, Butler, Georgetown, UConn, Providence, Nova, St. John's, DePaul. In terms of basketball,
Sign me up for that.
it's wild. Now
Imagine a Duke UConn regular season conference game.
Yeah, I just think, and it would drive everybody nuts. I do think Carolina and Duke should be mandated to play a home and home.
No, it should be one a year.
Okay.
Because you get bragging rights in. That's always been my biggest complaint with the Duke UNC rivalry is they split so many times, and it's we beat you at home. It's we beat you at home.
Right, and if you rattle off 3 or 4 in a row, plus it makes the ACC. Well, no, I'm sorry, it wouldn't make the ACC rematch. There would be no ACC rematch.
No, there wouldn't.
That would just be it. Yeah, they'd have to try and play in the Final Four again. That's how it goes. I think you drop Butler. I think you tell DePaul, hey, enough is enough. You're in a hub of some of the best recruits in the country, and you guys haven't made the semifinals of this tournament since 98 or 2003 or something ridiculous like that. You're out. And I'd probably toss I don't know who else I would toss, because Seton Hall, to me, I like going to Seton Hall. Seton Hall hasn't had a lot of success.
You're not tossing an original.
They're a founding member. Yeah, you can't really get rid of that. So
no, you toss Boston College. They fucking stink.
Yeah, they're a founding member too, I think.
Yeah, but they left.
But yeah, either way, I mean, this would be a lot of fun, and it would be a basketball oriented. It would, both halves of the conference would be whatever we got left in the dust for football, we're gonna be okay for football. It's gonna be enough.
What they should do is the legends and leaders bullshit that the Big Ten used to do, and just have an ACC Big East, literally called the ACC and Big East,
Yeah.
and have them play each other home and away, and then crossover game.
I couldn't wait to bet against that. Whoever this ACC is, the automatic qualifier, if they still have one in the New Year's Six Bowls.
Oh God!
Imagine just a 7, because the other thing is Notre Dame wouldn't be in the football part of it. That's where it gets hairy, where there's 7. Do they make Nova bump up and be like, hey, Nova, you got to be Division 1
No,
now?
what you do is you go get Memphis, get a 20-team league.
Got it.
There's your 8.
Over 20 teams is such overkill.
But that's where everyone says it's going. I agree, but if that's where you think it's going, right? If you're an AD or school president or whatever, and you think the SEC is going to go to 20, you think the Big Ten is going to go to 20, why not grab Memphis?
Right.
Again, we're basketball guys. That'd be a fun-ass conference. And
I think it might just be 4. I think the Big 12 and the Pac-12, they do you're eventually going to have 4 super conferences. Big 10, SEC, ACC, Big 12, Pac-12.
And I think there is, and I know there was a question about the financials of the basketball conference. They have the FS1 deal. I think there's a market for, this past year, college basketball, it's highest rating since Zion. I think there's a market for a basketball conference that includes Duke, UConn, Villanova, Xavier. Rattle them all off. Georgetown, Providence. Rattle them all off. Even down to the a Georgia Tech. You get Atlanta in that market.
Markets.
Right. So it's like, I think it's dumb. I miss the old days. I miss the days we grew up on of the 9-team ACC, the old Big East, when Louisville and Memphis were in Conference USA. I'd love to get back to that.
Yeah, there is something sacrilegious about Duke and UNC not being in the same conference, but
I would.
I didn't get mad about the Big East. I was just like, all right, and this conference has turned out to be great.
Because the Big East started it all.
Which left over, yeah, it's just basketball, so it can turn out, and it's.
Well, no, I'm saying with the conference realignment, they started it all by going and getting the South Floridas of the world, the Cincinnatis, the Louisvilles. It's just the Duke UNC thing would be hilarious as someone who loves to watch that world burn, of watching Duke and UNC fans just freaking out. And it would bring a smile to my face. Don't get me wrong. I want them to play every year. They would bring a smile to my face.
One of them would get dicey and pull some shit and be like, oh, we're not playing, or give hard time about not playing.
Oh, it'd be Duke in a heartbeat. K didn't play Maryland.
I know.
Because of that whole thing.
I know.
Of course Duke wouldn't play Carolina.
Yeah, that story, everyone would lose their minds. And that stuff like that could be really bad for the sport when those guys aren't playing. So I hope they realize how to manage that.
Especially because that game's always like post football.
Yes.
Where Cincinnati, like the other two of the, I would say, three biggest rivalries in the game, Cincinnati, Xavier, and Kentucky, Louisville, are buried during football season. You have Duke, UNC, and Purdue, Indiana, post football to kind of like draw eyeballs into the sport. So yeah, like I want more non-conference games after football. So give me Duke, UNC as a non-conference game in like February.
Yeah, we've said that a million times. Hit us with the next one, Blake.
One guy that just said, once the transfer portal shakes up, could we get a poll for the top 10 teams in the country next year? Not even necessarily what the AP poll will be, but maybe the top 10 teams to place a future on.
So 10 might be a little high. But
you don't want 10 futures.
Nah, well.
You don't want 10 futures.
You do if 10 of them make the Sweet 16.
It's still not making that much money on them.
I can't listen. It's weird because Kansas now, I do think Dickinson's gonna be a great fit.
He fits perfectly there.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It really is a great fit, and I've always bet Kansas. They're
going to be a 1 seed. Like
I've always bet Kansas. So Kansas is 10-1. That jumps out off the page. Duke gets back Jeremy Roach. They're really good with the experience. I think the experience helps them with those guys coming back. But we could go through the top 10 and it'd be as boring as it is. A bunch of teams that I think jumped out, or a couple of teams that jumped out to me, we'll kind of go through them with the different futures or worth taking a look at. Tennessee getting this kid Ledlam from Staten Island and Harvard could be a real jolt in that offense that they need.
It's still Rick Barnes' fade.
Yeah, okay.
It's still Rick Barnes' fade. That offense is still going to suck.
Yeah. Tennessee at 33-1. I don't hate having an actual jolt.
Just literally put it on a brick and light it on fire because that's Tennessee's offense. They've had 5 stars. They've had All-American. They have NBA players. The offense still stinks because Rick Barnes is still there.
That's fine. Graham Ike or Ike from Wyoming 2 years ago was a horse.
Stud.
Him and Maldonado were great. He could not – I don't think he played last year. He couldn't get healthy.
He was hurt like all year, yep.
If he's healthy, he's going to be really good at Gonzaga. And I know Gonzaga's obviously not sexy. They get Nemhard. Gonzaga's worth a little bit of a look again. They're going to be top 10 preseason. They are what they are. I think Bam, it's not a homer. If Oates can get guards are going to play. The kid Estrada from Hofstra is supposed to be elite. I think JQ's coming back. I think Sears is coming back. 24-1, you get the best guards in the country. And Oates has at least now cracked into the Sweet 16. I think Bam is worth a shot in an SEC that doesn't necessarily go
I'd bet him to win the SEC, not to win the national title. I don't trust Quinterly. Oates is a little too reliant on Quinterly, and I'm not a Quinterly hater, but he is who he is. There's too many flaws in his game for the tournament setting.
Makes sense. And then the one that's weird, I've seen on the top 25s, they're not in the top 25. They're like 35 or 45, and I know they have some off-court stuff. What do you make of West Virginia at 55-1? Kirk Carissa, Joe Toussaint. They got the kid from Battle from Montana State coming in, Trey Mitchell, and they got Jesse Edwards from
Syracuse. Syracuse.
And, and Huggins knows how to win. I know he's in some trouble there. Is the distractions going to be too much? And why are they not top 25? They play in the best league in the country.
There's a chance that Kirk Carissa and Bob Huggins fight each other.
Okay.
Like, Bob Huggins dealing with Kirk Carissa is going to be more entertaining than anything else in West Virginia. And I do like them, but they arguably won the transfer portal so far. It's just Kirk Carissa. We saw what he does at Arizona. He'll chuck up a shot, and Bob Huggins might take that stool and try to, beat him over the head with it. I don't know. Like, they have a lot of nice pieces, but they're not the best team in the Big 12. And, like, how far down the Big 12 teams you got to go to get to them? That's my concern. And I know that all changes in the NCAA tournament. And I agree, 55-1 does seem high. Like, I'm looking at it now. They're behind the likes of Xavier, Texas Tech, Michigan, Virginia.
See, that's
Maryland,
the thing too. I think a lot. I know it's early in these top 25. I saw Texas not ranked in one of these things.
Texas is 20-1 on our book right now as I look at
I know, but I saw Texas not ranked. And you ask on, ESPN's the headline, you look at that, you say how down do you have to go? It's only Kansas and Baylor right now for ESPN in the top 25 Big 12 teams.
That's crazy.
Unless I'm missing something.
That's crazy. I mean, I'm not downing it, but that's crazy. Right.
So I think West Virginia, I don't know. I feel like Huggins has got like a last gasp in him to make a run. I don't know, but them not being. So who's three teams that jump out to you in terms of prices?
Marquette at 20-1 is interesting.
Oh, wait. I'll give you this one real quick. So St. John's is going to be Memphis 2 years ago when they had Duran and Bates and whoever the hell they had. St. John's 90-1. You're going to hear dishwashers and bar owners across the country having St. John's at 90. I got St. John's at 90-1. They're not winning the title. I actually don't think it's really going to work out where St. John's is going to be elite. That's a whole other conversation.
I think so, because I think Pitino is the best coach in the country.
The facility's bad, dude. It's bad.
Still Pitino.
I know. We'll see. I think he's going to get close on a lot of guys. I think they'll be relevant, but it's tough. And I'm telling you right now, everyone's going to have St. John's at 90-1. So
everyone's going to take him at 90-1.
The whole world's going to have St. John's 90-1.
And I bet everyone takes FAU at 50-1.
I agree with that too. I don't like the mid-major. Those are my guys. I don't like the mid-major coming back the next year.
Love that team. I know,
team. But I feel like it drops. I don't know. I
know. I almost wish they were 25-1 just so I wouldn't even think about it. Just because 50-1 is such a nice price for a team that is good. Like, it's not like, I know they're a 9 seed, but they shouldn't have been a 9 seed last year.
Yeah. So who are the three you like?
Listen, Marquette at 20-1 is interesting. They bring back almost everyone. I think they're going to lose Omax Prosper to the NBA draft. It's the Shaka dilemma, though. Like, will he ever win in the tournament again after VCU? But at 20-1 for a team that won the Big East and was a 2 seed, I understand taking that. I mean, shit, they're what? 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. They're 12th on our book.
Let me ask you this, though. And I'm not a Shaka defender. I do think he's got a great team, and I love the kid Kolek. Would we be knocking Shaka as much if he didn't draw Izzo in the second round?
So I'm trying to think, who else would he, like, let's say if they were, who else would they could have lost?
Well, I'm just saying, like,
if they lost like Rick Barnes,
that's the worst potential matchup. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah, but it's also Shaka. I mean, Shaka lost to Stephen F.
He's not good.
Right.
He's not. It's I think 2 total second weekends in the first one, or 1 second total weekend.
And it was VCU.
And it was the VCU in the first year. So it's been a long, long time. So again, I'm just kind of asking that. Like the tournament is weird bounces and who you line up against. If he didn't get Izzo, is it a little fairer to think they make a run? That's all.
Yeah, maybe. Kolek was so bad that game too.
He had a bad game. Yeah, he had a bad game.
I mean, UConn at 12-1 is kind of crazy. Just I'm shocked they're not like second favorites behind Kansas. But yeah, Marquette. There's really not a lot that jumps out. USC at 33-1 is going to be a popular one because of Isaiah Collier, BJ Rodman, LeBron, Bronny James. I don't know how they're going to. That's what he's there this coming year.
He committed this fucking late?
Yeah, he was the last one.
He was in the McDonald's game. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he's fucking back.
No.
He dragged that out so long.
Yep.
Holy shit. Yes, USC is going to be very you see how that could be a mistake of me thinking like, oh,
he drug it out. He was like the last one.
That's a long time, dude.
He was like the last. Well, now Holland,
God.
but I'll tell you what. They're not. It's not a long shot, but Arkansas 15-1. I would take them now because if they get Ron Holland, that number is going down.
See, I think Muss.
If you're betting Arkansas, I'd take them now.
I think Muss does a great job of getting the pieces together, but I think it takes a little while assembling that puzzle.
But he makes second weekends all the time.
No. I think they lose a little bit in the season. I think the 15 you can possibly. I think you could get it at 18. I think you can get it at 20 if he loses 2 in a row in the SEC. A guy goes down for a little. It's the question. What's going on in Arkansas?
But I'm reading this as betting it before the season starts.
Before that guy gets it. Okay, that makes sense.
And because Holland might go, he could go pro, he could go to Arkansas or to the G League or whatever to Arkansas. If you think they're going to get Holland, that number is going down.
That makes sense.
If they don't get Holland, it's probably staying the same, right? So I would 15. I mean, again, Muss is always in the second weekend.
Makes sense.
And you can get that. There's not a lot. And some of these numbers just don't make sense. Like, why is Creighton 35-1? They lost a lot.
Yeah.
Why is I'll tell you who kind of sticks out is Baylor 24-1.
Bounce back.
And Drew, I think he's one of the elite coaches in the country. 24-1, and basically they're not going to see Kansas until the Final Four, assuming the season goes as planned.
Right.
Man,
yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's worth.
I might be talking myself into Baylor 24-1 here. I was on them last year too, and that was bad because they were the most inconsistent team in the country.
All right. So thanks for everybody who texted, called. We'll try to get that going as the summer goes. Hypotheticals, dive into that stuff. Reags, I guess like big picture. I do have one question to end it with, completely off topic, but big picture in terms of college basketball. You think we're in a better spot than we were 5 years ago?
I do, in a weird way, because I think we're talking about it more. And like that's the biggest hurdle with college basketball is people always say the regular season doesn't matter. I'm not watching it until the tournament. Why talk about it until March? Well, we're talking about it. Not again, I say we're. Me and you always talk. People outside of me and you are talking about it nonstop. Now, I will like speaking out of both sides of my mouth. I will say like I get that some fans have been turned off by the portal and by NIL, as if it has been going on forever, the NIL portion at least. But I don't know, like we're keeping guys. Here's my argument for NIL too. Everyone complained about guys leaving early to go pro. We're keeping guys in college basketball for multiple years because they have the ability to make money.
Right.
We're getting Sheboy back. We might get Sheboy back. Dickinson back. Baycott back. All these guys that we listed are now coming back for another year. We still might get some more that are literally at the NBA draft combine right now. So I think it's in a better spot for that, but it's in a worse spot in terms of the people who want to watch the guy play for one team for 4 years, and that's it.
Yeah. Danny Hurley cut down the nets. Was made himself the 7th because Boeheim retired. Now the 7th active coach with the title. I think we're in a new wave of guys who haven't won are going to start winning, and the guys who did win are going to start disappearing. I think Izzo's on the last lap. I'm trying to think of who else is old. There's another one. Calipari might be on like
he's got like 6 years. He says he's got 6 years.
On the last lap. So that's a guy who's out. Izzo's out. Like that list is going to get shorter.
Self with the health scare. He's
right.
How many years
he got it
left
second,
at him?
Yeah. So you can. I think we're going to lose some of those names, but each year you might be adding. Who's the guy you think is the next one into the club?
I think the two that come to mind
doesn't necessarily have to be this year.
Yeah.
The next guy who finally gets his first.
I think the two that come to mind for me right away are Muss, just because he's a great tournament coach. This might sound weird because I don't really love him as a coach, and I think he cost them their chance this year against Gonzaga. But Mick Cronin,
okay,
he's building something at UCLA, and he's been way better at UCLA than I thought he would be. And like he's recruiting, he's keeping guys. Now you lose Jaquez, you lose Bailey, you lose those guys. I'm trying to think who else. Like, I don't know. You could maybe Tommy Lloyd at Arizona. Who would you say?
I'm running through just the top.
I know you. All right, take away Oates. Let's just assume you'd say him. Yeah.
I do think if you can keep getting NBA elite guards,
sure.
The way the game is going, he's going to be in the mix.
Oh, actually, I know
for a long period of time, and being in the mix can get you potentially a title. So I do think Oates is
right. That's what I'm saying. Take him out because he'd obviously be on your list.
I'd probably put Muss on that list again because it's the same thing. He's always in the mix. It sucks because Baylor, he got his. I don't think Larinaga gets his. I don't think Hubert Davis gets his. It's a homer. Shire's going to be. If Shire works out to be the guy and he can get a 10-year stint,
Shire's probably the right answer because
I think he gets one, but there's not many others. Like I don't know if Shaka gets one. Izzo will be a second. I don't know if he gets one.
Sneaky pick would be Sean Miller
at Xavier. Yeah, because he's gonna go to a bigger job.
No, he's so young.
Yeah, you keep saying that he's not leaving. I'll give you one. I know it's recency bias. Dutcher's not that old, right?
I want to say he's like.
I think he's like 50.
I think he's a little older than that because he was on the staff in '89. He might be
63.
Yeah,
63. Okay, all right. And but if Altman, like if I was Oregon or if I was one of these programs in the Pac-12,
Altman seems to be past.
When Altman leaves, I'd be calling Dutcher. Like that's the way I look at it. Who are the mid-major stars right now that can jump to a big time program?
May.
Yeah.
Do you call Andy Kennedy? I know UAB's his home. Do you call Andy Kennedy?
It's something to chew on. It's something.
Here's another name. Who the hell was I just about to say? Oh my God, I'm blanking. I had another name. Oh well, skip it. If it comes back to me, I'll say it. Okay. Oh, Andy Enfield. Dude recruits at a high level.
Okay.
He's at the #1 player in the class coming in, Isaiah Collier.
Yeah.
If he keeps recruiting like that, and maybe he leaves USC for one of the more blue blood teams. I'm not saying he'll leave for one of the 5 or 6 blue bloods, but let's say he goes from USC to a team equivalent to Arizona.
Right. Yeah, it's worth chewing on. I'll get you out of here on this. What are you watching? Movie recommendation.
Dude, I'm dying.
Recommendation.
I'm dying right now. So I just watched Air. Phenomenal.
I thought it was okay.
I thought it was really good. Because I thought it was gonna be way more like Jordan stuff. Jordan like focused, and it was Vaccaro and Knight focused. I I'm dying though, because obviously I work from home, so I got the TV on all day. I'm out of stuff, man. I'm out of stuff. I saw you blog Bupkis. That's on my
Bupkis
list.
wasn't bad. Bupkis was not bad.
I've been doing so like I don't know, we're still watching Ted Lasso, which that's all downhill. I still got Outer Banks to watch, the most recent season.
All right.
This is again the husband hack. You got his summertime. You got to knock out the couple shows. So come football season, you're on your ass in the recliner all night.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
But I don't know. There's nothing good on right now.
Yeah, it's not a lot of movies that you want to go to. I like Kersher, but I think that machine thing can be a little too.
I'm not a big movie guy. You want to know the last movie I saw in theaters?
Hopefully, Top Gun.
Nope.
What was it?
The Christmas movie with Seth Rogen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, geez.
That's how long it's been.
I don't know. I like going. I want one. I want to go to. I like
Fast X. I'm a Fast and Furious guy. Fast
Yeah.
X. But it's like, yeah, I'm not like rushing to go see it in theaters. Just wait for it to come out on streaming.
Yeah.
I hope the machine's good because I need comedies to come back. Like I watch comedies. It's just strolling through Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, trying to find anything right now.
Yeah, it's tough. So, we're two lost dogs right now, trying to get back home. Just get us to start putting out the schedule. I keep looking at the preseason tournaments, like
just anything right now. Especially when like we're down to the NBA having off days, and it's just like
working the phones, trying to, figuring out who plays in New York, what can I drive to, what can I make, what can I watch. So it's a long, long time to get back to the winter.
I've gone all the way back into wrestling. I've reverted back to being like my 13-year-old self. I watch wrestling every time it's on now.
That's
bro, I work from home. I gotta have something on.
Yeah,
I record it and watch it the next morning.
Makes sense. So that's Bosco in one. Hopefully somebody gives us something to watch. Comment, let us know what you think, and we'll be back. I'm sure Reags at some point, preseason and stuff like that with college. So
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for jumping on.